Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to paint some lovely trees with snow-covered branches and Christmas lights on them. We're going to start off our background using two different shades of blue, teal and indigo. You can use whatever shades of blue you want, but today I'm only using these two. I'm going to use sponges. They're from Martha Stewart. I will leave a link in the description. I believe they're called paint pouncers. And I'm going to just go around the outside of my rock with the dark blue, which is the indigo. I usually paint the backs of my rock with the dark blue as well if I'm doing the outside like this. It just kind of tidies everything up and makes it look nice on the back. Now I'm going to flip my sponge over and use my teal color blue. And literally just fill in the inside here with the teal blue. And this is going to give it like a nice sky look in the night so that we can put our trees on here. Now I'm just going to go back around the outside with my dark blue sponge again and just make sure that the two blues have blended together. Once it's dry, we're going to add hologram, which is very, very popular on my tutorials. It's one of my favorites. I will leave just the name and everything in the description for you as well. Make sure your blue paint is dry before you do the hologram. And I'm using a fan brush just to brush on the sparkles. It doesn't dry white like this. It does dry clear with like a aquamarine or teal blue glitter. So you'll see it's actually drying right before our eyes. Now once it is dry, I'm going to use a flat angled brush. I don't know if there's a technical term for it, but that's what I call it. And I practice on a piece of paper before I jump on the rock. So what I'm doing is a straight line to show where my height of my tree. And then I'm just going to go back and forth using the flat angle of my brush and just spread out some branches. And it does take practice, so do as many practice trees as you need to until it looks like trees to you. Now I'm going to take the plunge on my rock and I'm going to paint 4 trees on here. You can paint as many as you want and as many different sizes. And I'm not going to go quite to the bottom of the rock. I'm just going to leave some of the blue underneath because it gives it a nice soothing night effect once it's all complete if I don't go right to the bottom. And I also usually do like a border on my rocks, but I'm not going to do a border on this one today. And snow-covered trees were something everyone kept asking if I could do a tutorial, so I hope this helps. I hope it makes everybody happy and satisfies your snowy tree craving. Now I've got 4 trees here. I'm going to go with my white acrylic paint once the black trees are dry. I'm going to use a fine lining brush, which there's also a tutorial on that. I'll leave that in the description. And I'm going to use a blending brush that I created on my own as well, which I still owe you a tutorial on, which I'll do soon. So we just took a minute there to appreciate my fingernails. Now I go with the white lining brush. It's going to be hard to see for a minute because I didn't adjust my rock so that you could see it. But what I do is I take the lining brush, dip it in my white paint, and I just go over top of where I think there's a branch. You don't have to follow your exact branches because it's difficult when you just did it with the fan brush or with the angled brush. So you make up your own branches where you want the snow to be settling. So you'll be able to see it a little bit better here. I take the lining brush first, do my line, then I take my blending brush and I blend the underneath. I leave the top solid and I blend the underneath so it looks like the snow is sitting there. And once again, practice on paper before you do it. It's always a smart thing to do. It makes you feel a little bit more confident before you put your paintbrush to the rock. So I just want to say thank you again. I love all of you. You guys are so awesome. You give me the courage to keep going. And my son and I were talking recently about how many subscribers I've gained. And I have over 11,000 subscribers, and that's crazy to me. That's more people than I currently have living in my town. So it's pretty special to me, pretty special to my 14-year-old son as well. He thinks I'm famous in the rock world. So I'm just going to keep going, adding branches of tufts of snow wherever I feel like there might be a little empty space on my trees. You don't have to go overboard though, and you put as much snow on your trees as you want, really. I'm just going to keep going through the magic of editing. This is going to be done quickly, so you don't have to work this fast. Work as slow as you want to, and eventually it'll become your own little masterpiece. And I never work as fast as what my videos show you I'm working. I just speed it up so that you're not bored. So I'm going to keep blending away here and make sure to let you guys all know that I appreciate you. And I'll keep trying to upload cool things for you to try and keep you all inspired. And there you go, 3 trees. 4 trees. And now we're going to do the same thing with the bottom. We're going to make the ground snow covered as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a thicker line and line where I want my ground to be. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the branches. We're going to go back over with the blending brush and blend the underneath of our lines. And I'm just going to drag it down, not down straight to the bottom, but just enough so that it looks like there's some little snow hills there by the trees. And I like keeping the blue underneath. It just kind of gives it a nice, serene, night look to it if I keep the blue underneath. So I don't want to drag the white down right to the bottom. Now it looks like my video is glitching, and I promise you it's not. It's just that I wasn't aiming my camera properly at what I was doing. So continue watching. There's nothing wrong with your video. Now that I have my bottom blended out, I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to choose some colors for my lights. Today I'm using red, green, blue, purple, orange, and yellow. So you can get those colors out. It doesn't matter what brand of acrylic paint, whatever colors are actually your favorite, whatever suits your fancy. I'm doing these colors because they're usually on sets of Christmas lights that you see on trees. So, but you can just have blue. Blue lights look awesome. Or just purple lights. I love purple. But I'm going to just put the lights underneath the blended white part so it looks like they're sitting underneath the tufts of snow. Now it's beautiful. I sped it up, of course. Take your time. It will look beautiful when you're done. Now I'm going to take a toothpick and use some white acrylic paint again, and I'm just going to dot the upper right side of the Christmas lights. So it just kind of gives it a little bit of a shine, makes it look like they're on. I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me do all of them. I'm going to bring you to the good part. Here you go, all shiny with resin. I'll leave a tutorial in the description for resin. It's art resin. I love you all. Thank you so much, and enjoy your painting.